Hey everybody, it's Awesome Ashby here, your warrior in health, because that's what this is all about. Jumpstart You is about us getting healthy together. I really want to get healthy. I'm a professional team builder, and that's what I want to do. So we're going to do it together, and I'm going to tell you why you're perfect, why you're not broken, why it's the system and not you, but how we can change that, change our mindset, change the way we think so that we can succeed together. So thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm really excited about this series. I was doing a lot of this work, and I've done a lot of this work over the years. My weight is something I've always struggled with, and I also feel like talking about it is helping me move through some demons. And so I feel like if you have those demons too, you have those demons together, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about my homework. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about being healthy. So first, I want to tell you, you're perfect. You are. You were created out of thin air, right? I know we know how babies are made. That's not what this video is about. But the reality is that all of us are very precious. All of us are only on this planet for a short period of time, and we should enjoy it. That is difficult when you have negative thoughts clouding your mind. For me, my negative thoughts have always been about my weight. Everybody's different. Everybody has negative thoughts about other, lots of different things. My personal journey has to do with my weight and when I gain weight and when I'm way overweight, how it affects my mental health, how it affects my life, the way I think about myself, my self-worth, my value, all of that, and how that is not okay. And I don't want you to do that either. And you are perfect and beautiful. And the odds are very much against us. And I'm going to talk about that today. So the main goal in this first series, Jumpstart You, I have 1 through 10 episodes. Then we'll have part 2, 1 through 10, part 3, which is where we'll do more of the these are the changes we have to make to improve ourselves, to get healthier. And then the third series will be about how to keep making those little improvements, because I'll tell you, over the last 20, 30 years of trying to lose weight and gain weight, mostly lose weight, but then I gain weight, it's been a yo-yo situation for me, which I know is not healthy. And now that I'm in midlife, I would like to make it so that that's not the case anymore, the drastic back and forth. And a few things right off the bat. No product is going to change the way you think, right? So I just don't want you spending money, right? This Jumpstart You this is free. I'm putting this all out there because I've done a bunch of homework and I want to share that homework. I'm also a very positive person because I am a professional team builder. If you do need team building services, I'm sure the link for that is in my bio. And I'm more than happy to accommodate. I'm in Los Angeles and we can figure something out. What I really care about, though, are people, right? I'm a person, you're a person. And if you're a person who struggled with their weight, this series is for you. I have struggled with weight my whole life. And I guess that means I should open with a story about that. And so I will. And then we'll talk facts. I wasn't self-aware of my weight until I was 8 years old. 8 years old seemed to be a really intense time for me. A lot of change at 8. I don't know when a lot of change was for you, but you should think about it, because a lot of fixing our future has to do with reflecting on our past to make sure we don't repeat it. But also to understand. And so when I was 8 years old, I was very lucky. I grew up in Boca Raton, Florida. If you know, you know. And my dad used to always take me and my younger brother to the tennis courts. He wanted to play tennis with his friends. And so we hung out in the pro shop and the gift shop and all that, while they played. And I'll never forget, we were out in the court and I'm only 8 years old and I'm sitting there waiting for my dad and his friend to stop playing tennis. And his friend, who, mind you, is an adult male, right? I'm 8 years old. This guy's got to be in his 40s, right? Well, my age now. This guy has to be, anyways, he was a doctor, right? My dad was a doctor, hung out with doctors. And he came over to 8-year-old Ashby and he looked at me and he said, "Oh, it looks like you've been putting on some weight. You better lose it or you'll have a heart attack. Now, I think saying that to an 8-year-old is probably not the best bedside manner. And speaking of knowing lots of doctors growing up, they don't have the best bedside manner. They go to school to learn all the facts and the rules and how your body works and fluctuates. There really should be a class at med school, how to speak to your patient, how to speak to people who didn't go to med school. So that broke my heart, and I cried a lot, right? Then on top of that, like in that same school year, I went to the zoo with my class on a field trip. And we were in line at the petting part of the zoo that they have for the kids. And we were all in line to touch a big snake. Not my favorite thing to begin with. No, I feel like there's a guy on Hollywood Boulevard down the street right here, and he has a big snake, and he's always like, here, look at my son. I'm like, I'm good. No, thank you. It's just not my breed of animal. Anyway, I digress. We're in line to pet this large snake. And I thought this boy was super cute. His name was healthyHow. And it's weird how, like, I don't remember anybody else in that class besides my best friend's name and this kid. And I guess, you know, I do have a big mouth, and I guess I said that I thought he was cute to the wrong person, and they went up and told him, which a lot of kids do. And when we got in line, he turned to me and he looked, and again, I'm 8 years old, looked me straight in the face and went, I don't go out with fat chicks. First of all, 8-year-olds shouldn't be going out with anyone. So I was totally taken aback, and, you know, wanted to cry. And I don't remember if in that moment I shed a bunch of tears, or I kicked him, or I ran to the bath. I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember the way my heart felt on those two moments. You know, when the older gentleman, the Dr. Alex, he's no longer with us, said that to me about my heart. It freaked me out because, like, what do I know about a heart attack at 8 years old? And then when the boy in my same class said something derogatory to me, it really set me on a negative spiral moving forward. And because of that, in a lot of my middle school and high school years, that was a very big issue for me. And I would be continuously trying to figure out how to be thinner, right? And it led me down some dark paths that we'll talk about in another video. But that's just where it all began for me. And it's something that has just been really tough on me in my life the whole time. And then on top of it, because apparently I'm a glutton for punishment, I moved to Hollywood, California. And was like, that's going to be a super healthy place for me to to deal with my weight issues. I'm laughing because it's just so ridiculous and hilarious. And I'm here. I mean, I've been here long time. So you're perfect is the point of this video. And I want you to know that, because, you know, I've got some statistics here that I'm going to read to you and give you some very exciting B-roll in the background. But I want you to know that, like, science agrees that, like, you know, this is an issue and we all struggle with our weight. And so my personal thoughts are that it has more to do with what we put in our mouth than anything else. I mean, I do like to exercise. I'm not a runner. No one's running here. Like, sorry. Like, I'm very proud of you if you're running. But, you know, I like yoga. I like Pilates. I like to walk. I like to play tennis. Anyone's a tennis player out there, hit me up down below if you're in the LA area. Yeah, but it really does have to do with what you put in your mouth, and we'll talk about that. So let's check out some fascinating B-roll of overweight people. It's about shifting our mindset, okay? Being ready is a myth. And I want you to know that overall adult obesity rate is about 40%, okay? And in the South and Midwest, the rates of obesity are even higher. And this is true. 1 in 5 adults will have obesity by 2025. And that is right now. And so it's important for you to remember that you are perfect. And the takeaways from this video are: most food is fake. And the third takeaway is money is the goal for business, not your health. And I want you to remember that I read this article from Stanford Medicine, and one of the quotes from one of the researchers, Dahlia Perlman, said, "It's not like the industry is trying to kill us." That is wrong. They don't care if they kill us or not. They would just prefer to not kill us because then they can continue to take the money from our pocketbooks. So I am reading this. And so I'm going back to the takeaways because I want you to focus on that while I look down at my notes. She also writes, dozens of studies have provided evidence suggesting that high ultra-processed food consumption is associated with a range of adverse health outcomes, including obesity, metabolic syndrome, heart disease, cerebrovascular disease, depression, anxiety, cancer, mortality from all causes. And this was all the research that I'm getting is from this year. So this was 7/15, so just a couple weeks ago. And so the problem is, like, of course, they don't want to kill us because they want the money from our pocketbooks. And I'm just really fed up. I just feel like whether it's a commercial or it's some influencer on YouTube, everybody's saying this, that, and the other. Buy this drug, do this medicine, do this plan. Like, I'm not here for that. I'm here to tell you the facts because I believe that you deserve to know them. And I believe that you deserve to know that the odds are already against you. And so this is something that it doesn't happen overnight. Any quick fix that anyone is ever trying to sell you is a lie. The only person who can give you the body that you want is you. And you need to have the right team to do it. And we'll talk about that in another thing because it's the people around you have the biggest effect on you too. Okay. So I'd also like you to think about the people that are selling you this stuff. Right? This is a $990 billion enterprise. Just think of how many zeros that is. Not a million, not even 1 billion. They are nearing a trillion, 990 billion. Like, what? So, keeping it real with you, because that's how I like to do it. All healthcare companies, and I don't mean I'm not talking about your insurance provider. I'm talking about anybody who's saying oh, with this injection or with this, granted there are pills and there are injections and they will help you not eat and they will help you, not eat. I haven't done any of the injections, but back in the 90s, I definitely took Fin. We took Rip Fuel, caffeine pills. It's all the same stuff in a different wrapper. And you lose weight. And then what? And then you can't take that kind of stuff for the rest of your life. So, the goal is that when those companies are selling you that stuff, they want you on this stuff for the rest of your life. I don't want you on anything else besides food for the rest of your life. And I'd like you to enjoy it. But it's tough because it's really against us in this country. We've got a lot of food companies not trying to help. A lot of businesses not trying to help. Their goal is a profit. Their goal is not you enjoying your body, right? They're not worried about you. They're not worried about you. They're worried about them. And I had a really tough time with that when I was younger because I did grow up in a bubble and I thought everybody had my best interests at heart. They do not. They do not. I have to have my best interests at heart. And I have your best interests at heart because I think it's unfair that there's so much stuff on this platform and other platforms that are saying you need to buy this, do this, da da da. No, you need to do what's best for you. Only you know that, but you know how to do that when you have the facts. So I'm going to give you the facts. I'm going to give you some fun. I'm going to tell you how I'm looking at it from my perspective. I'm going to tell you all the struggles I went through on my journey. And, I think it's really interesting because I'm working on that journey once again. So I've gained and lost weight half a dozen times over the last 20 years. And some of it was the right way and some of it was the wrong way. And I'm going to talk about that because I feel like I would want, if I were, back when I was 8 and that stuff happened to me, I would be so blessed to have somebody to look up to. YouTube didn't exist when I was 8, but to just watch somebody be like, yeah, I struggle with this too. And this is how this is how my journey went. So I want you to know that this is a business. Healthcare healthcare is definitely business, but weight loss is a business. Okay. And people are making money off people like us because they know we want to lose weight. And I say, screw them. So let's learn the right way. Let's talk about it. And I just want to give you power. I want to give you all the power so that you're never weak again. You know exactly what you're eating. I'm not saying you're never going to eat like naughty stuff again. Like last night I had a Slurpee and 2 chocolate bars, but that was my naughty, snack for the whole week. The rest of the week I was eating lettuce and chicken. And so we're going to talk about all of it, but you also can't like live in a bubble. Life is happening and it's really tough, especially if you do go to a lot of events, you do go to a lot of parties, a lot of beautiful platters are out. So yeah, we're going to talk about all that stuff, but this video was just to tell you how beautiful you are. You're not broken. This is a game, unfortunately, and it's not a game because it's your life. It's the way you look at yourself. It's the way you perceive yourself. I am not a medical professional, but I am somebody who's been through it their whole life. So I totally understand when you're feeling frustrated about your clothes. Like I must have a closet for 3 different women, depending on where I'm at in my weight loss journey. And maybe you resonate with that. So just remember, it's a lot of us. There's a lot of us in this together, and we have control over what we put in our mouth, and we have control over what we buy. And I just want you to not spend money and get through these videos with me and see how you feel about where you're at, because there is just no magic wand quick fix. If there was like a cool Harry Potter abracadabra, and then I am the same weight as Margot Robbie, like that would be cool and I would consider buying it, but it's not realistic. And I want you to know how beautiful you are and how perfect you are, and that everything's going to be all right, and we're going to figure it out together. And I will see you next time. Okay. So just remember, the action items are: you're perfect. Okay. That's the first action item. The second is most food is fake. Okay. Over 70% of all the food in America is processed. And we'll talk about that in another video. And money is the goal for business, not your health. So you just remember that you are the priority for you, and businesses, their priority is money. So they are not doing you any favors. Okay? Please save your money. I've spent so much money. I'll even in a video show you some of the products I'm throwing away because I bought them last year. Like I've been on this journey for so long, and now they're going in the trash because they don't work. Unless it's something that you're going to have in your life forever, it's not going to work. So don't waste the money. And on top of that, the things that are going to be in your life forever is food that was around 500 years ago. And that's another video. So just stay right there. You are perfect and amazing. Don't spend any money. I feel like I'm saying all the things that YouTubers aren't supposed to, but you are. You are perfect, and don't spend any money. And food is fake unless you could grow it in the ground. We'll talk about that another video. And businesses are out for themselves, right? They're not there for you. So you want to be the smart one taking advantage of that. And we're going to talk about that in the next video. Okay. Love you so much. See you next time. Bye.